So let me tell you about my experience in Israel and Jerusalem. So nationals from my country do not need a visa to get into the country. However, you need to go to some machines and take this ticket so that you can get into the country. You need to keep it with you the entire time. You need it to check in at your hotel. You need it if you are asked on the street. So keep it with you the entire time. Occasionally and randomly, the machine picks up people to go to immigration, and I was one of the lucky ones. So I had to go through immigration, answer their questions like what I was doing there, who I was with, how long I would be staying, and then I had to go through passport control. This is a whole process that took us almost 2 hours to go through. Communications can also be very expensive, so I bought an internet card at the airport. Our goal was to go to Jerusalem. However, we stayed the first night in Tel Aviv in a hotel called Play in the business center. The rooms were quite cozy, small, but enough for just one night. You can go from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem by train. You just buy this card and charge it with money, so you can use it in trains, trams, and in buses. And a trip to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv Central costs about 20 to 24 shekel, depending on the time of the day, which is about 5 euros or $5.50. In Jerusalem, there's only one tram line, so it's easy to move around. And each travel costs 5 shekel, which is about 1.2 euros or $1.30 more or less. It's very cheap. It's very important that you choose well your hotel. In our case, we chose the Ibish City Central, and because it was about 400 meters from the old city, so we were just quite near, a walk away from the city center. You can walk in the city through many gates. If you come by tram, this is the gate that you can go through. And the old city walls and city gates were built by the Ottoman Empire from 1535 to 1542. And this city is divided today in 4 quarters: the Muslim, the Christian, the Armenian, and the Jewish quarter. And there's also a 5th area, the Temple Mount, which I will talk about a bit later. In the Christian quarter, you will find the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. So this is a site that contains 2 places considered holy by Christians. One is the site where Jesus was crucified, and the other is Jesus' empty tomb. It is free to get in, so you don't pay anything. However, I think entrances should be controlled. Many people come here just to see the site. Others come for their faith, and I think that the amount of noise here and some lack of respect by some people, I think, damages the feelings that some people want to have here. This was recorded inside Jesus' tomb. I apologize for the poor image. From here, you can follow Via Dolorosa path, which represents the path that Jesus would have taken on the way to his crucifixion. When you're in Israel, beware of Sabbath. So this is the Jewish day of rest. It begins at sundown on Friday and ends at sundown on Saturday. So it lasts 24 hours. During this time, observant Jews do not work, and it extends to using electronic equipment, driving cars, and cooking. We find it very hard to find a place to have dinner, and even at our hotel we couldn't have an espresso, and even elevators were prepared not to be touched. We knew this beforehand, and that's why we decided to do a day trip on Sabbath. So we chose this company, which is the biggest tour company around, and we decided to go to the Dead Sea for a day, and we chose going to Masada. As you can see, they have plenty of options at different prices, but Masada was for us the best choice because it was a whole day. We could go to the Dead Sea at the same time. Lunch was included, and the whole trip was just amazing. You can book it online, but hotels also do some bookings hours so we booked everything with our hotel. Our first stop was at a very nice cafe where we had a cup of coffee and enjoyed the amazing views. While driving deep into the Judean desert and Cisjordan, you can enjoy the beautiful and very different landscapes. Our first stop was a factory that produces cosmetic products with Dead Sea minerals. Masada is located on the edge of the Judean desert, and the cliffs are made up of chalk and dolomite, and it is about 400 meters or 1,300 feet above the Dead Sea. It is an ancient stone fortress that is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it has well-preserved ruins of the history of the ancient kingdom of Israel, and it tells the story of courage of its people in the face of a Roman siege. To go up there, you ride on a cable car. It's very big, and even if you have vertigo, don't worry, my husband has vertigo and he still went up there. The ticket is included in the price of the whole day. From there, you have breathtaking views to the Dead Sea. Our guide said that we were very lucky because the sky was very clear and we could see the other side of the Dead Sea, which is Jordan, and we could see the whole mountain range. Masada has very curious birds, and if you listen carefully, you can actually hear them. This complex was built by Herod as a winter escape and a haven from enemies, and he built a castle, storerooms, and cisterns. After Herod's death, the Romans decided to conquer Masada, which had about 960 people living there, including many women and children. After several months of siege, and when it became clear that the Romans were going to take over Masada, they decided to take their own lives rather than live as Roman slaves. However, 2 women and 5 children survived it because they hid in the cisterns and later told the story. The last stop of the day was the Dead Sea. So if you have the chance, bring a swimsuit, it's a must, and just go to the Dead Sea and try the mineral waters. The next day we went to the Western Wall, which is the most religious site in the world for Jewish people. It is a place of prayer and pilgrimage, and it's considered the holiest place where Jews are permitted to pray outside the Temple Mount platform. People can touch the wall, you can pray, and you can even deposit a written prayer on a piece of paper and place it between the large stones. Near the wall there is the entrance to Temple Mount. To get into Temple Mount, you have to dress accordingly. Both men and women need to be dressed modestly, weapons are not allowed, and visitors cannot bring any sacred objects. Visitors may also be asked to show their passports, so come prepared. Temple Mount is a holy site within the old city of Jerusalem, and it's holy for the Jewish, Christian, and Muslim people. All visitors are able to go inside the compound and the Al-Aqsa Mosque, with the exception of the Dome of the Rock. The admission to the site is free, however, the Temple Mount is closed to visitors on Fridays and Saturdays. This is the world's 3rd holiest shrine to Muslims after the Kaaba in Mecca and the Tomb of the Prophet in Medina, and it means the spot where the Prophet Muhammad is believed to have ascended into heaven. The original gold dome disappeared long ago, and the dome you see today is covered with 5,000 gold plates of 24 karat each. If you're thinking about coming here and visiting Temple Mount, I advise you to come with a tour guide because this place is so rich in history that you don't want to miss anything. And if you enjoy shopping, you can go to Mamilla Mall, which is located just outside the old city walls. Our last stop was Yad Vashem Holocaust Museum, which is free of charge, but it is advisable that you book it before going there. Recordings are not allowed inside the museum, but it includes the Children's Memorial, the Hall of Remembrance, the Hall of Names, the Synagogue, and the Valley of the Communities. So I hope you have found this useful when planning your trip to Jerusalem. Feel free to subscribe to the channel to be updated with my next stop, which will be in Dubai and Abu Dhabi in August. So that will be a challenge.